New tonight on KGW News, 15 years of searching and of lost time.
Kyron's missing out on all of that, and it's sad.
How investigators are now getting a fresh perspective on the disappearance of Kyron Horman. Plus, a big break in a decades-old cold case. How authorities say a body found along I-5 in the 80s was finally identified. Then, new at 11.
This is about putting the framework in place to put pastors in prison.
Why the Justice Department is now looking into a new Washington state law that could open up priests to prosecution. And later,
I'm going to sail around the world for the rest of my life until I die.
we catch up with the viral sensation, including his feline first mate, who quit his job to embark on the voyage of a lifetime. Welcome to the news on this Friday. I'm David Molko. We begin at 11 with major developments at a home near Kelso, where authorities say 4 people were shot this afternoon in what appears to be a domestic dispute. Tonight, it appears all of them will survive, while a teenager is now under arrest. Alma McCarty has the latest.
Friday night, investigators wrapped up their work on scene at a house on West Side Highway north of Kelso. They'd been here since 3:30 on Friday afternoon after responding to a shooting call. The Cowlitz County Sheriff's Office blocked off the road for a few hours, learning that a total of 4 people had been shot. 3 were taken to the hospital, one of them life-flighted to Legacy Emanuel. A 4th person, a 17-year-old young man, showed up a bit later to St. John Medical Center. Deputies found out there had been a fight between a group showing up here for a visitation with a young child and people inside of the home. The shooting, Sheriff Bradley Thurman says, took place right outside the front door, and the parties were known to each other. Despite being close to a park and a neighborhood and not far from a school, no bystanders were injured.
To have 4 people in one incident injured like that, it's kind of shocking, but there had been a prior incident at this residence probably about a year and a half ago, again involving underage folks and somebody being shot.
The sheriff says the 17-year-old suspect was booked into juvenile detention here in Cowlitz County on assault and drive-by shooting charges. The investigation is ongoing. In Cowlitz County, Alma McCarty, KGW News.
To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, a Multnomah County judge sentenced a Portland couple to prison today after their toddler overdosed on fentanyl and survived, though suffered a life-altering brain injury. Delone Kelly and Samantha Smith pleaded guilty to criminal mistreatment and assault, and their sentences nearly doubled after they failed to show up for a court hearing in April. The father, Kelly, now faces nearly 6 years in prison. The mother, Smith, was sentenced to almost 5. To a break in a decades-long Oregon cold case. State police say they've now identified a man found murdered in July 1980 along I-5 near Woodburn. They say his name is Larry Parks, a Vietnam veteran who was 30 years old at the time. In 1983, evidence from Parks' murder was sent to California. In connection with this, the trial of serial killer Randy Kraft. Kraft was eventually convicted of 16 murders, though was suspected of dozens more across the West Coast and Michigan. Fast forward to 2024, Parks' DNA was analyzed, which led to potential family members and eventually an ID. Investigators say they can now resolve the case. And Vancouver's fire marshal says he wants a fireworks ban extended county-wide. Fireworks are banned in the city of Vancouver, but there is no ban in unincorporated areas. Clark County Fire District 6 hasn't taken a position, but crews there say when it comes to fireworks, they know the reality.
There's going to be a lot of property damage. There always is. There's probably going to be personal injuries almost every year. There is at least something. Our crews, we will add additional staff, and they will be running from 7 o'clock at night till at least 4 in the morning. And it's not just going to be the 4th of July. It's going to be weeks before and weeks after.
Well, it is unclear if councilors will consider a ban, though keep in mind, even if passed, it would not take effect until next year. Okay, now let's take a live look over downtown Portland on this Friday night. 61 degrees in the Rose City following yet another beautiful spring day. Celine Stevens is here with the first look at your weekend weather impact forecast. Hi there, Celine.
Hi, David. Yeah, we're going to be seeing 70s for one more day, okay, and then we get to Mother's Day and things are going to change. But right now we're looking at our Salem sky cam. Very nice out there, 59 degrees, nice and calm in terms of wind as well. And again, tomorrow will be a lot like today, just slightly cooler, but again, we should still break 70s. Right now, temperatures though cooled off, 58 in Hillsborough, 60 here in Portland, same story in Troutdale. Other areas further along the coast, we're looking at 40s, 43 in Newport, 48 in Tillamook. But highs today, it was a warm one. Temperatures got up to 78 degrees here in Portland, 77 in Vancouver. Places like Bend even hit the 80s, 84 degrees for them. Along the coast, 50s, even low 60s in areas like Astoria. But as we get into tomorrow, again, it's going to be a pretty nice day. We're seeing temperatures starting off at around 50 degrees, partially sunny. We stay with the partially sunny skies till around noon. We're in the upper 60s. We do hit 70, however, expect those mostly cloudy conditions to change once we get into the evening. More clouds are going to be rolling in as that low pressure moves east, and that brings us this. So we're going to be seeing moisture moving into the area by early Sunday into Sunday afternoon. We're seeing that rain just in time for Mother's Day. That's going to continue even into Monday as temperatures drop into the 60s. So say goodbye to the 70s, at least for now. David?
Yeah, enjoy the sunshine while it lasts. Thanks, Celine. Developing tonight, the search continues for a missing teenager from the Oak Grove area. 17-year-old Charlotte Fosgate was reported missing on Friday of last week, and her family believes she is in danger. A volunteer dive team from Bend has joined this search, focusing around the St. John's Bridge. Charlotte's last post on social media, a picture from on that bridge.
She has severe depression and is off her meds. She has not taken them for a while, and she's tried before to end her life. I just want her to come home and get the help that she needs because she has a lot of people that love her.
Charlotte is 5'10" with brown eyes and long brown curly hair. She usually wears gold frame glasses. If you know anything about her or where she could be, call the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office. A reminder, if you or someone you know is in a mental health crisis, there is help available 24/7. Just call or text the number on your screen. It's 988 to connect with resources and counselors. Again, that number is 988. New tonight, nearly 15 years after 7-year-old Kyron Horman disappeared from a Portland elementary school, law enforcement tell us they are making new efforts to solve the case. Catherine Cook's in the newsroom with a look at their new strategy. Catherine?
David, it's all about how investigators will soon be able to view Kyron's case file, thousands of pages of it. It's all getting digitized, giving the FBI a fresh review of the whole investigation.
It's the photo burned into so many hearts and minds. 7-year-old Kyron Horman, the day he disappeared from Skyline Elementary School. It was June 4th, 2010. Kyron's stepmom, Terry Horman, took the picture at the school's science fair that morning. But that afternoon, the second grader never got on his school bus and has been missing ever since. Even now, 15 years later, nothing, despite a massive and ongoing investigation. Kyron's biological mother, Desiree Young, does what she can to remain hopeful.
There's bad days and there's good days, and I struggle because it's loss. It's not having my son here. It's every time we have an event or every time my older son got married. Kyron's missing out on all of that, and it's sad.
But what's missing from this case? It's a question new investigative efforts may help answer. Over the past year, the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office and Gresham Police have been digitizing Kyron's case file. That's thousands of pages, photos, and evidence scanned and reorganized into modern form. When it's finished, the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit will re-examine the case. They'll perform psychological and behavioral analysis of the file, comparing it to similar cases nationwide. Based on any patterns they find, they'll offer new investigative recommendations. Multnomah County DA Nathan Vasquez says his office has begun reviewing the case with fresh eyes, saying, quote, "We look forward to receiving further analysis from the Sheriff's Office and the FBI. Our focus remains where it has always belonged, on Kyron and his family."
The Sheriff's Office says they review hundreds of new tips connected to Kyron's case every year. There's still a $50,000 reward for information leading to a resolution of Kyron's disappearance. Anyone with information is asked to call the sheriff's office. We've posted contact info on KGW.com. David.
Yeah, let us hope his family, all of us, can finally get some answers here. Thanks, Catherine. The man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students in 2022 is set to go on trial this summer. And if you watched Dateline tonight, you saw some of the evidence that prosecutors will likely share with the jury. In tonight's 2-hour special, Dateline presented a detailed timeline showing how events may have unfolded that November night. That included surveillance video obtained by NBC of a white car driving to and from the crime scene 5 times the night of the murder, and Brian Koberger's cell phone records, which showed he was in the area of the murders at least 23 times in the months leading up to the crime. Search activity shows Koberger looked for K-bar knives and sheaths on Amazon and searched for information on the murders several times before his arrest. If convicted, Koberger faces the death penalty, a punishment the family of Kaylee Gonsalves is pushing for.
If attacking somebody while they're sleeping in their bed isn't probable cause for you to be
unprovoked,
removed from the planet, what does?
Koberger's trial begins in August.